Hello, and welcome to episode 45 of the Wee Podcast. It is Clarky here with Philip.
Hi.
So this week, off the back of the sort of UFC debacle of the weekend, Khabib and McGregor, it ties in quite nicely with our topic for the week, which was going to be followings, both on like social media and etc. So basically, we're going to look at the repercussions of what's come off the back of that, and then we're going to have a wee look basically at other things to do with followings, and then our opinions on them as well, as always. So we hope you enjoy this one. So what was your take on the events at the weekend?
What events do you mean?
The football, obviously. No. Did you actually?
Well,
Funny, completely off the cuff straight away.
United.
Did you see? No, did you see the the guy? I think it was Hoffenheim in Germany.
No.
Walking back to his seat.
No.
He was carrying 7 beers and a bratwurst.
How?
I don't know.
Would they have a little bag? Like a little...
No, all in his hands.
7 beers and a
Yeah.
bratwurst? Oh
Yeah.
my word.
It was mad. I'll see if I can find the picture. It's amazing.
What was he carrying 7? For himself, you reckon?
I don't know. It was, sorry, who was the fan? Sorry, it was 8 beers while eating a sausage. It was Fortuna Dusseldorf, sorry. He was, let's see, there's a picture. There. Isn't that amazing?
How is he doing that?
I don't know. 8 beers.
How is he doing that?
8 beers. So, anyway, that's completely random.
That's like,
But,
that's like Guinness as well, like 8 Guinness.
Yeah, it's like pure 8.
Is it 8 Guinnesses or 8 Guinness?
Oh dear, I don't know. Guinness?
It's another podcast.
I feel like Guinness.
Is it 8 Guinnesses or 8 Guinnessu or 8 Guinnessai? Or 8 Guinness? Strange, but that looks insane.
8 gwine.
8 Guinness.
No, but it's not really cool. I thought that was class.
That's insane. 8 beers and a bratwurst, like.
Yeah, because whenever you said about
hungry
football,
and very, very thirsty.
that was the first thing that came to my mind, because apparently the camera on the game wasn't particularly good.
Oh, wow.
And everyone was just like, oh my word.
Is he going to get to a seat without dropping in one beer?
So cool.
Or spilling a drop?
Yeah, so cool. But anyway, no, the UFCA, the UFC.
The UFCA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of a mess.
Yeah.
But I suppose it's sort of... I mean... It's everyone's fault, isn't it?
Did you see it coming?
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't think Khabib would do anything.
Yeah.
I thought Conor would do something because he's obviously
A header.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Khabib, like if you look at any of his older fights, he's very respectful afterwards. But he was asked during the press conference if he would shake Conor's hand,
Nah.
and he was like, "What, win or lose?" And he was like, "No, never
Yeah.
would I shake his hand." And I mean, did you see the actual submission he got?
Yeah.
Did you see whenever Herb Dean was like, right, it's finished.
Yeah, and he
had
went straight back.
he had to pull his hands off
Yeah.
McGregor. He wasn't for letting him go.
No.
And then he stood up, and then McGregor looked at him, and then obviously they must have had a little bit of an altercation.
Do you know what was said? No.
No, don't know.
No.
Don't know.
Because
But,
apparently McGregor said something to him.
I don't know.
But I don't know
what
how
he said.
true that is because I didn't see his mouth move.
Neither did I. He just stuck his tongue out and was just like, well, what can you do?
Yeah.
And then Khabib chucked his mouth piece
Guard. Yeah.
just at the cage and jumped over and attacked Dylan Dennis.
Yeah.
But apparently Dylan Dennis had said something. He was like, come on then. Like there's a picture going around online with like Khabib doing like this little like jump like foot stomp thing.
Yeah.
And, like people replacing him with an eagle because that's obviously his nickname. I was like, that's brilliant. But I mean, it's to be expected at the end of the day. But the only thing I don't like was if they do a rematch and they show that happening
First.
like if they show, you know, whenever McGregor did the whole dolly thing and chucked the dolly through the window.
Oh yeah, and broke the bus.
And then they used that for the hype up this fight.
So stupid.
Yeah, I would agree it's a bit silly, but it's a good marketing campaign, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
But it is, obviously people were getting hurt and stuff, and they were hurt and they had to fork out a lot of money for...
out, didn't they?
Yeah, 4 people had to pull it, I think.
Mm.
And then, but if they get a rematch and they show Khabib jumping out of the UFC octagon and stuff, and if they show that, then fair enough. Like, at least you can't sort of say, well, they're favouring McGregor in that sense that they showed the whole dolly incident and they're not going to show that. But at the same time, you sort of expect it because McGregor does go all in whenever.
Oh, it's brutal. Like,
but this one was a lot more it was a lot more personal because he went in it. Like Khabib had this whole thing in the what do you call it afterwards, the press conference afterwards, and he was like, he talked about my religion, my family,
my dad, was it his country?
Yeah, his
country. His religion, country, and his dad.
Yeah.
He was like, what do you expect when he says all this shit or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watched Dana's and I watched his press conference, and then literally it was just like, I'm sorry to the Nevada State, and I'm sorry to Las Vegas, I'm sorry to UFC, but you're all talking about what I did. What about what Conor did? Straight away I was sort of like, right, let's not take away from the fact you literally just caused a riot.
Like there was, the thing is that there was kids and stuff in that arena, and
could have got out of hand.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It could have. Thankfully, it didn't. But at the same time, even if they didn't get out of the hand, like the people, there were kids that were like not ringside, but they were a few rows back and stuff. And if people were to trample around the place, those kids could get knocked out. Like, I mean,
anybody could have got hurt, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, kids could have got trampled on because they're a lot smaller. But at the same time, like, I know McGregor did do something bad with the whole bus incident, but he got punished for that.
What did he get?
He got fined and I don't know, 100 odd hours of community service or something, and then whatever else it was. I have no idea what he got fined, and I really couldn't care less. At the end of the day, they used it for promotion.
It always sort of baffles me. Say if I was to go up and smash a Translink bus window, I'd probably get time.
Yeah, you would get time. Yeah, 100%.
It makes no sense.
No, but that's what happens whenever you get a mad following, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like whenever you get to a point where you've got like 1,000 Instagram followers, you can. Well, to be fair, he's obviously got the money and good lawyers and.
Oh well, yeah, that's a really good point.
Like
his legal representation will be probably second to none.
Creme de la creme, of course.
I would guess he's got a pretty good retainer on some pretty damn good lawyers.
That's why we would probably go to prison and he wouldn't, and hasn't.
Yeah,
but I think regardless of the whole thing, I think you should think before you act. I mean, at the end of the day, you're in a combat. You can literally fight him legally.
Yeah.
In the UFC, you don't need to jump out of the octagon and start punching people illegally and assault people. And obviously, same with McGregor, you can literally fight Khabib in an octagon. You didn't need to go in through the dolly at the bus.
Although, did he not? Like McGregor punched someone as well, didn't he? Tried to punch someone in the scuffle.
Yeah, it was your what do you call him? Makachev, I think.
Was he the fella who hopped the cage, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't him. He was the other fella. He was the guy that once, I think he was fighting in the UFC. I think he's supposed to be fighting Artem Lobov. I think next or 3 weeks away or something.
He'll be alright then.
Yeah, he'd be fine. But he's not anymore because he's been kicked out. He's not allowed.
Oh, after
the
weekend.
The two of them have been kicked out. Rustam Makachev or Islam Makachev, whatever you call him, I can't remember his name. And then that Tung Gufkin guy, or whatever you call him.
So they've been kicked out.
Yeah,
but none.
Well, according to Dave, they've been kicked out, but that could be anything. You could be like, these guys. He said in the press conference, these guys are going to fight in the UFC again, and I was like,
but then you can't just take those two out. You have to take everyone out.
Well,
like as in you have to say, right, well then Khabib can't fight again because he did probably worse.
Yeah, but Khabib's a draw for the Russians.
Doesn't matter.
But that's the thing. I
think that's where there's bound to be some sort of legal case that they go forward and go, well, he hasn't been kicked out, he did worse, so.
Yeah. But the thing I don't understand is that whole thing happened, there's whole scuffle and stuff, and there's I think it was your man Rustam came in and Conor hit him.
Was that first?
Yeah, he hit him first. Yeah. But obviously the guy in the red, I can't remember his name, the guy in the red came in with intent to hit Conor anyway. Yeah. So regardless if Conor hit who first is pointless. Like Khabib jumped the fence near. Well, I don't know if he actually hit Dylan or anything but he jumped.
I don't think he got there, but he was very close.
Well, he
pictures
started.
I've seen anyway. It could have been after, for all I know. Yeah. But for the pictures I'd seen, like basically security and the police, etc., had just basically like dived in the middle.
Oh, they swaned in. Like they were like, no.
Yeah.
But even Khabib was being retained. Like he was being like held back, and for some reason, the official just let go of him. Like I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. He's literally got the intent here to jump over this key. Exactly. He just let go and then he jumped. He was like, oh, and then tried to scramble to get him, and he was away at this point. He was an eagle, just flew away. Yeah. He just flew away. I couldn't believe it.
It was quick, but the thing as well is, you know, for all we know, he could have been the ref. Like, look, I'm fine. Ah, I'm joking.
That's true, but at the same time, you don't let go of anybody that's going to have, because they didn't even read the decision out until everything was sort of calmed
And
down.
they didn't give him the belt.
Didn't give the belt because I heard Dana say if we give you the belt, then you're going like this place is going to erupt.
Yeah, they'll throw stuff in.
But even whenever they were leaving, sure, all the Irish were chucking beers at Khabib and his team and all, and the security guards and all.
See, the thing is, see if that had been dealt with in the way that like he's dealt with every other guy, and same with Conor, to be fair, he slappers about, and then at the end he sort of goes, fair enough.
Yeah, you beat me.
Yeah, like, you know, shake hands, we hug and all. Had it have went up down like that, I think it probably would have just been like every other great event.
That's the thing. It would have been down in one of the biggest events in history, which it still will do. But I think it'll just be a bit tarnished with. Yeah, which is a bit of a shame. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you, like I said before, if you've seen all Khabib's earlier fights, he's so respectful afterwards.
Yeah.
And he even said during his post-fight interview, he was like, "This is a respect sport, and you have to respect the."
Yeah.
And I was like,
"What are you doing?
What are you doing then?"
And like, it's the fact that what annoyed me a wee bit about his interview, and whilst I agree that maybe you shouldn't talk about religion, maybe you shouldn't talk about family.
I would agree. You shouldn't.
Yeah. I think that's a bit low, but at the same time, you know who you're fighting. You know what he's gonna say. You know exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna try and get in your head. He's gonna try and fuck you around. He's gonna try and make you annoyed so you make mistakes when you're in the ring or the octagon. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's a 6-1.
You know, but you know what's coming. So
yeah.
But then at the same time, I reckon if somebody was to sit there and slower to me, I'd lose a head.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, people, it's weird because you have to have that mentality, don't you? Just to not let things bother you.
Yeah.
Like Nate Diaz had it really well.
He was just like so.
But I don't understand if he understood what McGregor was saying half the time because of his accent. I was just like, does he know what he's saying, or is he just like, LOL, you know what's happening or something like? But I mean, you gotta give respect to Nate. He just didn't care. Like, he literally couldn't care in both fights, and he thought he won the second fight, which is a fair argument. But even all McGregor's older fights, like Dustin Poirier, so he called him a redneck and stuff, and then he called Nate Diaz a cholo and all his little cholo friends and all. And I was like, you sort of have to think of who you're going to fight here.
Like, you know what's coming, but at the same time,
you shouldn't talk about religion. It's
messed up.
At the minute, at this day and age, religion is such a big thing to not even try and get into. Like, you don't want to touch it, you don't want to do anything to do with it. And he brings it up, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, that first press conference when he was in with no fans was so cringy. I was like, oh, God. Like, I was watching, I was like, this is grim. Like, it'd be different if there's fans, because the fans will shout, olay. But there was nothing. And I was just, all the pictures, I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, it's just you shouting.
And then he started calling him backwards and all because he wouldn't take a drink of whiskey. I was like,
is he not Islamic, so he can't drink?
Yeah, he can't drink. He doesn't.
It's hardly backwards, then, is it?
No, that's what people were saying. They were like tying his words to the religion and being like, well, you're calling his religion backwards and blah blah blah. But he can't really win. Like, I mean, even if he was to go on and do nothing, people would be like, what's this boring?
Yeah.
And if he went on and did all that, and people were like, that's too much. And where's the happy medium? Where is the bit in between where you can go on and be like, I'll say these things and then that'll be it and we'll have a good fight.
But the happy medium is where you just don't cross the line.
But I think whenever you get into that sort of zone, it's hard for you to stop running your mouth, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, because for me, like, as you well know, I think religion's unnecessary. We don't need it. But it comes down to the fact, if people want to have religion, great, fine.
Yeah.
You do not need to pay any attention to it if you don't want to. That's fine. But it comes down to the fact that you're saying about where's the line. I think the line comes into it where, for example, had Khabib been gay and he went in on that, that's too far.
Oh, he went homophobic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had he have, this is obviously a stupid scenario, it's never going to happen, had he been fighting a woman and he started being sexist, that literally would be too far. So going in on somebody's family, I think, is far too far. Like, you should never touch anybody. Like, that's completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know, and equally, country, fair enough. I just think Russia's a bit.
But then, sure, your man Khabib went on the Irish as well and said, where's the English? Why do you speak English language?
Yeah, where's the Irish now?
So why are you talking just in English then, speaking Russian, so I have to translate it?
Exactly. I just thought that was so weird.
It's just he's just an idiot sometimes. Like, but it gets to the point now where whenever you're in a sport, regardless, sport, whatever, if you have a mad following and you have some sort of responsibility and you have...
That's the key word.
Yeah, but if people say, like, Conor was a role model, I was like, a role model for who? What, prisoners?
Yeah, for what?
For what? Like,
for other fighters, maybe the way he gets on is... not the way he gets on, sorry, his determination and his ability and... I think we maybe mentioned it. I don't know if it was in a podcast or just speaking normally, but... Sorry, it was the Legacy podcast about Conor McGregor, about how he came from nothing.
That's 2 weeks in a row we're talking about.
How he came from nothing to what he is. What was like 30 million a year? Did you say
for what?
The last fight, 50 million
for this one. Just 50 million all in all. You see, that's his rough estimate. He said.
So, $50 million.
Plus, he's getting obviously money in from his whiskey business now as well. Yep. Like there was someone said the other day, I think it was like this little meme popped up with like the Homer Simpson meme where he's curled up in bed. He's in this little purple bed and he's all like sleeping and stuff.
Oh yes, where he's like, yes.
It says me at 5 a.m. when I couldn't care less about a plumber turned fighter turned whiskey connoisseur or something. I was like, ha, funny. But I mean, like people obviously like the thing is, right? Casual fans will stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning to watch Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
People won't stay up till 5 o'clock to watch the likes of
anyone else.
Anybody,
I just think it's fair to say anyone else.
Anybody else, yeah. Even if Khabib fought again, I don't think the casual fans would come back to watch.
I just think he's lost the casuals. The way he was getting on at the end of that fight, and Dana was right as well. Whenever he came out at the end, and he was like, "Kids at home, pay-per-view will have watched this fight with their parents, like soccer moms. I think you mentioned soccer moms will have watched this fight." And this could be their first one, and this is what they think UFC is about. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
like there's a guy I just like called Colby Covington. He's obviously I've told you about him before, and he went on the Twitter and was like, "Well done for putting our sport back 20 years." I was like, "Well, you're not wrong there, I suppose."
No, but then at the same time, it's not just UFC that'll have that sort of controversy. If you think, remember we spoke a while back about Logan Paul, and he really screwed up with that Suicide Forest video. He definitely had set himself back, but at the same time, how much has that dragged him forward?
But that's one person.
For sure.
That's not a business.
But if you think about it, like how many people now would be talking about the UFC? 4 days later?
Oh yeah, I know that, but I mean
even casuals.
I know people say all press is good press or something.
All
or
press,
whatever.
good press, yeah.
I don't think that's the fact in this one, because I believe that if kids are obviously it does say you're not allowed to watch it, like if you're like below
whatever it is,
but I don't think their parents are going to allow them to watch these fights and stuff, and at the same time they're the ones that are going to pay for the pay-per-view for the kids or whatever, or if they want to watch it or whatever,
streaming service or whatever,
service as well. And like I just think that had he have not done that, they'd have been absolutely fine. I think if there was a rematch, there shouldn't be a rematch. I don't think. Personally, I don't think there should be a rematch. There's no point.
I don't think it was close enough.
It wasn't close. It was nowhere near close. Khabib won at least 4 or 3 out of the 4 rounds that happened. He won in the 4th round, obviously, but he won 2 out of the 3 at least. I think that actually happened. Yeah, but if not all 3, but
the highlights didn't exactly. If you watch them back, like it just doesn't look close.
It didn't. It wasn't a close.
And I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's a fair game. It makes sense. Like we all watched the same fight. Yeah, and the same thing happened. Like it wasn't.
It's funny when you just know, isn't it? Yeah. Like it's like whenever he started fighting Mayweather, I was like, no. Yeah. Like I sort of you're speaking it's when so well.
It's when he got knocked down. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Conor never gets hit.
Yeah.
Like never gets hit. Like he gets hit, but he doesn't get hit.
Yeah,
like he gets hit with a couple of punches and he's all right. But even Diaz rocked him as well. But he took it on the chin like there's no tomorrow. He sort of went, oh, that's me a little bit. But he fell. He fell like backwards and he was like, oh Jesus, what's going to happen to me here?
Yeah.
But he took it on the chin literally. And he was fine with it. Like he's a solid granite chin. Like, but
that's like whenever Joshua went down against Klitschko.
Yeah,
I remember
he fell down. And was like, whoops.
Yeah, did he fall again? No, that was his first one. So whenever he went down, I remember I was in Paris whenever that fight, and I remember whenever he went down, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like ho ho ho.
Yeah.
This has never happened before.
Yeah.
So as you say,
But
Whenever
obviously
you see
McGregor's,
McGregor, you're sort of like, holy shit.
but
you know.
he's been in like, you know, deep water for a few times before. Like he's been submitted before.
Yeah, beaten what, 4 times?
He's been beaten 4
All
times.
by
now,
submission, you were saying?
all by submission, different submissions as well, which
Yeah.
is quite funny. But so if you're looking there to submit Conor McGregor, go and look online.
No,
knee
which one
bars,
hasn't he been hit by?
yeah, triangles. It's just ridiculous. Like, but yeah, you could probably find there's more.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you think like if you were to go and do that in the UFC, I think it's a bit like obviously boxing's a bit different because boxing has mad following.
Yeah, well,
Like,
currently, but I'd
well,
say that's
beforehand,
solely down to Anthony Joshua.
you reckon?
Mm-hmm.
Just really?
Yeah,
On his own?
everyone wants him. You don't hear anyone going, I want Dillian White, or
No.
you don't hear anybody going, oh, I really want to fight Tyson Fury.
No.
Everyone wants to fight Anthony Joshua.
Well, apparently it's been confirmed now that the
WBC
Mhm.
have said the winner of that has to fight AJ. But then after that, which will have to be at Wembley because they've booked it again for April.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
But but again, I'd say obviously talking about followings, I'd say certainly like the first real sort of career I followed in boxing was Carl Froch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously not a heavyweight, but he was the first person, you know, the fights with Groves and all the rest. And they were the first ones I properly paid to watch and things. And then I have a funny feeling Joshua was an undercard the first time I seen him. And obviously I knew he'd won the Olympics and stuff, but one of my friends...
He was the beast though, but even then he wasn't, he was
wasn't
quite
hard.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't hard, but he wasn't particularly good.
Mm-hmm.
But like one of my friends was like, you know, watch this guy, like he is gonna be the next big thing. And I've watched the vast majority of his fights, and you know, and then I genuinely think now because he is so good, and because he has beaten big names, all this like every single fight now is a big name for him. Like there's gonna be no pissing about with somebody that for the sake of it, you know. Like his mandatories are all good, you know.
But they're not super fights though. That's the thing.
They will. Well, the next one
they will be. Yeah.
The Dillian White, I'm 100% he'll fight him again. At some
that'll
point.
have to fight. That'll have to be after the
WBC.
It has to be.
It will be, but I think.
But I think that's a step down.
Well, the thing is he'll eventually be a mandatory for the WBC. So
yeah, right enough.
Wilder's already said if he beats, as in Dillian White, sorry, if beats, pardon me, Luis Ortiz, then yeah, you can fight me for the WBC, but it makes no sense because Dillian White's already got the WBC silver. I think he's ranked number 1. So who else? Why is he going to beat someone else?
Yeah, it makes no sense. But then again, rankings doesn't matter anymore, does it?
No, because Tyson Fury's fighting for it, and
Exactly.
he's what, like
he's been
6th,
out for
something like that. I mean, he's not particularly high up,
but he's also been out for years as well. Like,
yeah,
it's just, like the UFC's taken a big, massive chunk of the book out of boxing. Like they don't care. They have ratings left, right, and center. Like Dana says about like, you know, if you're top 10 or top 15, you should be in line. Well, you're the president.
You decide.
You decide what happens here. But he was like, if you're in the top 15, great. You smash the guys in the top 10, amazing. It's fantastic. That's brilliant. Well done for you. If you smash a guy in the top 5, you're in 100% contention for a title. Okay, where?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, exactly.
How?
Like,
it just doesn't make any sense why he hasn't, like, if he makes this rematch with Khabib, like that lightweight fight between Tony Ferguson and Anthony Pettis is pointless. It was just pointless.
Yeah, it literally is. You're right.
But
because then, is he not due to fight Khabib?
Who, Tony?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Is that not the plan?
Technically,
he was an eliminator, wasn't it?
Technically, it should have been. Yeah. But I think Dana was like, Conor's going to win, Tony's going to win, put them together, that's it.
Big fight.
But I think what should happen is Tony and Khabib fight, hopefully, because they've had 4 fights now and they've all fell through.
Seriously?
Yeah, they've had 4 fights and Tony's pulled out twice and Khabib's pulled out twice.
Oh, well, then you can share the blame, fair enough.
Yeah, so you can share the blame, okay, but if the 5th time happens and you both pull out, then you're both going to die. I don't care. It's ridiculous. You shouldn't both
Belt's
pull out.
taken away and neither you can have it.
But I mean, Khabib's showing strength now. He's doing well. He's making weight and stuff.
He could also still lose that belt.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing.
You know,
Dana said the best possible outcome would be Khabib to be fined $250,000.
That's nothing.
Nothing to what his purse was anyway, $2 million, which he still hasn't got.
No.
And then 4 to 6 months out. suspension, which
Then the
ironically
title will have to be taken off him. Surely they can't sit that for 6 months.
yeah
Then they did for McGregor, so why couldn't they?
they didn't.
I thought they left it like his title. He didn't fight for ages.
Yeah,
and then they
the
literally
featherweight
stripped him.
one, but they didn't. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
It
you're
was
right.
months. It was
Yeah.
like, it was not a year.
Yeah, it was a year I think before it was taken off him. The featherweight one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he went and fought for lightweight because T3 went and fought.
He had them both here at one point.
Yeah. I don't understand why. It's different for obviously the stars of the show.
Yeah, well.
Which is annoying
yeah.
because I know people want to like. You're literally catering for the casuals. That's what it is. You cater for casuals because they're the ones that bring in the most money.
Yeah.
The hardcore fans will obviously follow UFC till the death.
Yeah, and you know
until
the undercard fight. Well, say well, they literally are because they get pissed off. It's like $7,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's not great, like, but if you were to have the casuals on every Saturday, you're on, you'd be fine. You'd be rolling in it, 100% rolling in it.
Yeah.
But the reason why that made it was like 17 million or something. The gate was, and then it was like 2 million pay-per-view buys or something.
Yeah, well,
like that's
20 something quid each.
probably
Probably
for the UK anyway. It would be, but it'd be more for USA.
Would it?
Yeah, because sure it's on late for us. Sure.
Yeah.
So it'll be 5 o'clock in the morning. It'll be 20 quid, and then in the US it'll be about 130 sometimes.
Dollars.
Yeah, something like that.
Holy
Mm-hmm.
God, that's nuts.
Because it's prime time telly. That's what it is, isn't it?
100. That's
Like,
extortionate.
But they pay cable though. But they pay cable
Yeah.
on top of whatever else they. But I was talking to someone on Twitter the other week there,
madness.
and she was saying that she gets like the Fire Stick.
Yeah.
She doesn't pay cable. Just has a Fire Stick and just pays the likes of Netflix and the likes of things
Amazon Prime. And
yeah,
whatever.
and just has it all in the one instead of paying for cable, which makes more sense.
It depends if you're on live TV. You know. That's the
But
only thing.
then you can get live TV on the Fire Stick as well.
Oh, can you?
Yeah,
Well, then
I think so or something. But I mean, at the same time, like it's a bit mental that they can charge that much, and then
100. I think that's insane. Like you could go and see a live football match
yeah,
for cheaper. Like potentially including like food and
well, what was
accommodation.
the Mayweather one was $100, I think.
Oh, that's horrendous.
I think it was $100. It might not be 130 for the Khabib one. Then
I think it's bad when I have to pay 20 quid for a boxing pay per view that's over at like 11.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I think that's all right.
No, but I mean like, I think whenever I like put that, I mean I'm like okay, I'm obviously gonna pay it.
Yeah.
But I see if it was like 30 quid, I'd be like no.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like if they're paying like $100 for like, well, it is a long show in fairness.
Yeah.
But even at that.
But it's not. You're paying for 5 fights.
Yeah, that could
That's
be
not a
over.
long
They
show.
could literally be over in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
I'm not too sure it was $130, but I'm pretty sure I've seen that number float around quite a lot online.
It's a lot anyway.
But I mean,
So-
you're only getting 5 fights. But the thing is, like, the thing that I'm sort of disliking now is the UK fans are getting smashed.
See, that's always what's really annoyed me. So it was a Saturday, right? In America.
Sunday. Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what was wrong with on the Saturday? Now, my maths could be completely wrong here, but having it on at 10 p.m. here, which would make it 2 p.m. over there, or even midnight, right? Would make it 4 p.m. in LA, or is it 6, 7? What time would it be in New York?
Well, it's
I can't remember the
5 or 6 hours ahead, isn't it?
Could be 5. I think you're right. I think it's 5. So let's say then it would be.
Or like 6 o'clock.
Let's say it's
maybe?
midnight here, where at that particular, main card starts. So Conor, Khabib, that's where the first one starts. Let's say that starts at midnight British time. Let's say then it's 5 hours, so it'll be 7 p.m. in New York, and I think it's 8 hours in LA, and Vegas.
Yeah.
So that would be 4 p.m.
I think because it's the prelims as well. People in America, like, they'll not get the people up at like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning to watch
True.
the likes of the prelims.
And that's where the most of the money will come from as well. That's the other thing.
Well, the pay per view will be, yeah. So
Yeah.
and like it's a big problem, like, because like even at the minute it's on quite late in America, and the pay per view numbers aren't doing great. So in some cases, and then in the prelims they're not doing great either, which is a real shame because. Like, I think if they catered for the UK fans, they would smash it out 100%.
See,
Like, BT Sport's brilliant, but this whole 11 sport business is not happening. It's not good.
yeah, it's not. It's not. It's like whenever the Champions League went to BT. You know, a lot of people don't even pay for that, so I can imagine like the viewing figures of the actual Champions League is bound to be down as to when it was on. Remember some used to be on like Channel 3.
Well, yeah, but sure, now it's all changed. Now, like, people have Sky and the likes of BT Sport, and now they're gonna have like even UFC.
BT's dear though. Like, it's not cheap just to have BT Sports. Like, an
If
extra
you
like
have Sky,
40 quid.
Yeah, exactly. But if you have Sky and BT Sports, even more. Like, it's like 180 quid a month.
Yeah, like it's not even gonna be like.
But then on Sky, you got to pay for the box office stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't get boxing fights for free.
No, well, you get a lot of the prelims for free. The undercard.
Well, see, if you pay for BT Sport, you get the entirety of the UFC for free. Not for free. Sorry, you pay obviously monthly.
Yeah.
But you get the entirety without having to pay the main card.
No, but that's fine. But obviously not anymore. But like what I'm saying is that you're paying £40 a month for that.
Mm-hmm. But
just for BT.
Yeah.
Whereas with Sky, you might be paying.
But I'd rather have BT on its own.
See,
I would pay 40 quid. I would pay 40 quid a month if it was BT and that's it. Because the amount of UFC events you get, for me personally, it would be for UFC, obviously.
Yeah.
But the amount of UFC events that are per month, that's well worth 40 quid.
But like you're saying, obviously the main card. So a lot of boxing on Sky is free.
Yeah.
It's just the main card, which is like an extra 20 quid every. Well, I'll say main card. It's like the big fight was an extra 20 quid once every 3 months.
Yeah.
So
that's not too bad either.
Whereas how many really massive fights are there in the UFC every month? Probably every 3 months.
Yeah, it's not really an awful lot. But
so I don't mind paying 20 quid extra, but you're paying 40, or would be paying 40 every month for potentially not a big fight every month.
But then, as a hardcore fan, you would. But as a casual fan, you wouldn't. Like,
yeah.
If you're paying 40 quid a month for BT Sport and you're a casual fan and you're off that weekend, and you probably would watch it.
But then there's also a BT Sport, I suppose. Yeah, there's like the football in there.
Oh, there's more things than UFC.
There's obviously everyone mentioned already the Champions League, but there's also Premier League games that they've bought. There's foreign football.
Yeah.
Like French League and stuff.
But then this is the whole thing now with this 11 Sports coming in. Like, I was on Twitter the other week whenever they announced this whole thing for 11 Sports, and it was like 60 quid a year you pay for the subscription for it. And then I asked them, I was just outright, I was like, well, do you get
everything?
Yeah. You get pay-per-views, you get blah blah blah, you get blah. Nope. They just sneakily reply like this little sort of like, cryptic sort of message. They were like, we think we charge, great amounts of money. Like, it was like, fine, whatever it was. I can't remember what they said. It was like, we what was it they said? I'm trying to think what they said.
Essentially, we think it's fair for charging that, but for some fights you may need to pay more.
Yeah, it was like, but we don't see why it's such a problem, sort of thing, to have other fights, like pay-per-view fights, for a bit more money.
Because
I was like, well, how much is a bit more?
But then, was that 11 Sports?
11 Sports, yeah.
Does it have anything else?
Well, it has La Liga and Serie A.
Is that where they went?
Yeah, that's where they are.
Oh. But again, I don't think I care.
No, I don't care much.
Spanish, certainly not Serie A. Maybe El Clasico, but not Serie A.
No.
But Juventus are just going to walk that.
Yeah, so. Exactly. It might make for some good football matches, but I mean, it's going to be constant goals after goals, isn't it? Like, so it's just going to be like predictable. But I mean, I don't think I would ever pay 60 quid a year and then pay. I don't even know how much it's going to be for a pay-per-view. No one actually knows how much it's going to be.
Yeah, for they could skin you 40, 50.
So there's
100.
There's 100 quid
on one pay-per-view plus
the yearly thing.
I suppose. Yeah.
But you're not paying any more than 40 quid a month for BT Sport. That's the thing.
Yeah, it was silly that moved away from that. The only thing I can think is that
it's more money for them, obviously.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only reason it moves for the.
But I think it's like a 5-year deal, or something like that. Because they signed a 5-year deal with ESPN as well.
That's a long.
So they're moving away from Fox Sports into ESPN, and now from BT Sport into 11 Sports. And it's not an actual TV channel; it's only a streaming service.
But see, to me, that surely can't increase their following. Surely.
No,
not even just as like Khabib Conor fighters following, because they can do that on their own social media. But the UFC needs viewers.
Well, one thing I'd love to see, right, is what they can compare it to now would be this fight just happened over the weekend, right? So compare the pay-per-view there to next year when it's 11 sports.
Yeah.
And see how much money they gain from that. And if it's more, then they've succeeded 100%. But if it isn't, then they've boobed by 5 years.
Well, yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. They're stuck now. So
Yeah.
even if it doesn't work, that's tough.
Yeah, they can't go back to BT Sport.
I'd be interested to know. It's not a floated company, UFC, sure it's not?
I don't think so.
I was going to say, I wonder if there were shares, if it affected it at all, but it literally...
Hang on. I think it could be, because I think I read something that Mark Wahlberg has a share in it. So it could be.
Don't know. Well,
Because I know I've read a few things that some celebrities have a share in it.
Maybe they've bought in. Maybe, who knows? Could be anything.
I don't know.
But, like, basically what I mean is that I wonder what effect that'll have had on... Because even in future, right, if, say in 3 years' time, you know, pay-per-view's way down, people aren't paying for this, you know, the following's not as big, they're not going to be able to pay the fighters.
No,
it's not half as much.
No, probably not.
You know, it'll be the same as anything else. That as soon as you start losing that, then, like, for example, Tottenham, they only earn, well, not anymore, but it used to be £100,000 a week was the max they'd pay. Kyle Walker goes to Man City, gets double that, and all his teammates are sitting going, why are we staying here?
Yeah,
It makes no sense. We can go and do the same thing somewhere else for more money.
yeah.
So obviously UFC is a global brand now, it's massive.
It is huge,
So-
yeah, but I mean, obviously they're getting money left, right and centre from their merchandise as well.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, the pay-per-views do go down. That's the money from the gate going down.
Yep.
Then obviously the pay-per-view money going down as well, which is
Advertising.
advertising as well.
If you think people won't want the... Well, I don't know why even their main advertisers will be looking at that still going, this is a great opportunity, we're going to be on a streaming service.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like...
They get adverts all the time that are streamed on like the likes of like YouTube, Facebook and stuff. Like,
it's true, I suppose. But...
It doesn't make any sense to me because it literally is making people pay for another service. Like, what if they still want BT Sport?
Well, then you have to pay for both.
But that's what I'm saying. And what if they have Sky? They got BT Sport, and then they want to watch UFC, and they can't, so they have to pay for 11 sports.
Yeah. Well, then that is personal. You have
That's
to
yeah.
do it, and
But that's
it.
the thing. Like,
But-
I think people will be like, no. So
Yeah.
I am a casual fan, and I'm not willing to pay £60 a year to watch maybe one event.
It is dear, isn't it? It's
That's
gonna
what
be...
it is.
Well,
It's not dear. It's cheap. It is cheap for if you get to watch. But the thing is, right?
specifically for one thing, because unless you are Spanish and really like Spanish football or something.
Yeah, well, exactly. But the thing is, like, I don't understand what way they mean now with UFC Fight Pass, because you pay a thing that's like £60 or something a year for that, but you get the Fight Pass prelims, which is like maybe 2 or 3 fights.
Yeah.
Then you get the prelims, which are like 5 fights, sometimes 6 fights or whatever. Sometimes it's 4 or 5 and whatever. You never know.
Yeah.
But and then you pay for the main card, which would be on BT Sport. But in BT Sport, you don't get the Fight Pass prelims.
Right.
You only get the prelims and the main card. So you technically have to purchase UFC Fight Pass to watch all the fights. Technically, if you want to watch the Fight Pass fights as well, which is, like I said, like 3 or 4 fights or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you want, I don't understand what way it's going to work. If you purchase 11 sports, are you still going to get? Are you going to get the Fight Pass fights, or are you going to get the prelims and that's it? Because if you're paying for £60 a year for prelims, and that's it, then it's pretty grim.
Well, again, this is where it comes down to they obviously haven't put this out there properly.
Yeah.
They haven't told anyone, and you know, obviously, as you say, it's massive following now. Specifically, I suppose Conor. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Well, he's from Ireland.
Yeah.
Irish fans will be done in by this deal.
Fair point. Yeah, screwed over a bit.
Yeah.
Well, sure, what's new, but
I can imagine there'd probably be more fans of Conor McGregor in Ireland than there would be in America.
well, I suppose you got a whole country here, well, there, but I don't know. It's weird because with him, as you say, like from where he came from, as we discussed the other week, he came from nothing. He's built up his own brand, his own name.
And he's got his own company as well now.
His own company. I'm sure he's got probably more than one.
He has. He's got his clothing company as well as the whiskey and his promotion company as well.
So, he's built all this up because of people supporting him.
Yeah. Through
the UFC.
Yeah.
So, and I suppose you could say that for a lot of people. Actually, that if you think of, just to, I suppose, to stay in sport, if you were to, like, footballers,
Beckham.
Anyone, if you even think of,
but he's done the most, I would say.
Yeah, he's got his own football club and all now. But it comes down to, if people don't pay to watch it,
yeah, you're not,
and not even just going in to see, like, obviously what's Old Trafford, 75,000 people.
Yeah.
If they don't more or less fill that,
yeah,
the club technically. If for example, say every football attendance in the country or in the world just randomly this weekend just halved, and that's the way it was forever, footballers would not be able to pay that same amount of money.
No.
So, in the same way, and obviously it's drastic and it's never going to happen, but say half the amount of people could be bothered to pay for this new UFC package with a sports streaming service, then,
which I don't think half of them even would.
It literally comes down to,
like, America's not going to change.
No, it'll be fine.
I think they've changed to ESPN, but I can't imagine it's an awful lot more money.
It's probably in their package.
Yeah, probably.
It'll probably fine.
Yeah, right now it should be in it. Yeah, so it would be.
It'll probably be in there, but
it's a channel.
Yeah,
or is it a channel?
No,
we don't have a channel for 11 Sports.
No, you just literally have to.
You have to download the app.
Is it on like a TV app? No,
nope.
Smart TV apps.
Nope, it's an app and that's it.
So you have to download it on like an iPad or something.
Yeah, get your iPad and your phone, stream it to your TV. If you have a Chromecast, then happy days. If you don't, then you're buggered.
It's about rubbish, isn't it?
Well, that's the way it is. I mean, it might go in the TV. I don't know, because there was a few guys asking on the Twitter poll, and they were like, "Is there going to be a smart TV app or anything?" And they were just really being cryptic again about the. Like, it's not a great thing to start off the year with.
When's it start?
January.
Maybe they've got something in the works.
I hope they do, but I mean, like, we all obviously started with this whole mad event happened the weekend. Like, this could be the problem. This could halve the entire community and be like, I'm not going to watch this caper. Like,
yeah, I'm not paying £20 to watch people fight and then for there to be no ceremony at the end.
Yeah,
and
then again, it could be suspension. So you paid to watch this fight and you could never watch them fight again. Well, like, no one knows what's going to happen between these two fighters.
Yeah, it's
like, true. We know Khabib's purse has been withheld. He could get suspended. Conor could get suspended now for 6 months.
Sure, it would make any difference.
Not for him, but I mean,
he's just took about 2 years out.
Yeah, he took 2 years out and then obviously fought in between with Mayweather.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand what way that's going to impact that entire company. Like Dana said, he's been working for like 15, 18, 20 years or whatever to build this company to what it is today.
He never thought he'd ever see something
but
like
that doesn't impact the UFC. That impacts like Bellator and Bama, and well, they're sort of the same thing now. But then like PFL, like all these other fighter like leagues and stuff. Like there's so many different things. Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
Like loads of things. Cage Warriors as well. It can benefit and it can just tear it all down from what the UFC do, because they're the pioneers in that business. They're the pioneers in MMA, and whatever happens over there, it could be better for Bellator, because Bellator are technically the rival company.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, well, look at UFC.
We don't do that.
They're clowns over there.
Yeah.
McGregor a couple of years ago jumped into the Bellator octagon. Well, it's not an octagon, is it? I don't know.
Don't know what shape it is.
It's a cage anyway. Yeah. He jumped in and pushed Mark Goddard, one of the referees. Pushed him. Didn't get a fine for that.
Oh yeah.
But it's McGregor. It's always coming around McGregor, and I think personally at some point they'll probably put some sort of ban on him or something.
I don't know if they can. Of course. I don't know if I know they can, but I don't know if they would, because
it brings in so much money.
Exactly. Like it's like, with all that's going on with Ronaldo at the moment.
Oh, the whole rape charge thing.
Yeah.
Has he been charged for that?
No. It's just been accused.
Just allegations then.
Yeah, but
why do people have to do that? Just if it happened, then fair play. They do that. But
if it happened, then fuck him. But
if it's just something they've fabricated, then why? What are you gonna get from that? Like,
just don't know. Probably, but you just don't know, and it comes down to that's like Juventus saying, "Well, you actually can't play." Like, come on.
Well, sure. Even EA have taken him off social media.
What?
They've taken him off all the social media things over the game, the FIFA 19 game. They're even thinking about rebranding the cover if he is charged with.
Well, that's fair enough if he's charged, but if he's not charged, I don't understand.
Apparently they've taken him off the whole social media aspect of it as well. Like, whatever way they promote the game via Ronaldo.
He's in the advert.
Yeah, I think
at one point, but he just goes, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, I think they've stopped that. I think they've taken that out.
Haven't noticed.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sure he's going, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm sure, to be honest with you, he's one of those players that I think he's on some stupid money at Juventus anyway, but
why would he rape somebody? Do you know what I mean?
What was it, 10 years ago? We don't know.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea about this.
2009.
But even said he was quite big then.
Oh, he's huge. He won the Ballon d'Or, I think.
So then why would he rape anybody?
We don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, you could say the same thing. Why was Kevin Spacey being a weirdo?
Very true. Yeah.
You know, comes into all these.
Very true.
You look at all these.
Like, I don't mention him. He came with Tottenham 2 weeks in a row. Don't mention
but,
him.
you know, like, you could mention all these sort of really horrible deeds, and you just don't know. But that's the scary thing about it. Well, in fairness, Kevin Spacey actually was like, yeah, you know what? If I did do it, that's disgusting, and I apologise, and fair enough, you're going to kick me out of stuff. But,
yeah, at least he didn't say no.
No, exactly. But, you know, Ronaldo came out and literally said, fake news, this is a lie.
Yeah.
You know, blah blah blah, I never did that, so on and so forth. But again, because he has such a massive following, because he has he's a cult icon.
Yeah.
You know, he is, you know, one of the greatest footballers that's ever lived and probably will ever live.
I would agree.
And because of that, it's a lot bigger. Like, for example, Adam Johnson, obviously the Sunderland footballer. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I'm sure he got jail or something.
Yeah,
he got
jail for underage girl.
I think he was
14 or something.
It was something to do with pictures as well, or something on WhatsApp or something, wasn't it? He was doing.
Oh, he was texting her and all, and then they met up, and he forced her to do something horrible. And but again, you know, he was still allowed to play football until he was proven guilty, which I understand, because otherwise, what's the point in being innocent until proven guilty?
There's no point in
But
that.
at the same time, as soon as he was found, it was right. You're sacked. Away you go. You're away to jail and all.
Makes sense, yeah. But the same thing as the whole Paddy Jackson thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they're not allowed back into.
Yeah, they were sacked,
Mm-hmm.
even though
nothing really came of it.
Well, no, they were proven innocent.
Yeah, but nothing really came of it. Though, like there was
They were sacked anyway, but which I think's a bit weird. But I suppose it does come down to
some bad press. Maybe I don't know.
It's like Ched Evans. You ever heard of him?
No.
He used to play for Sheffield United. He was accused of rape, put in jail, convicted and all, and
wasn't proven innocent, was he?
Yeah, after
how many years?
3.
Was he spent 3 years in prison?
Mm-hmm. Something like that. It was like 2 or 3. It's quite a long time, but he couldn't find a club then.
Because he's been in prison.
Mm-hmm. People are like, no, he's a rapist, but he's not. He's innocent.
Oh, so he got branded then, even though he was innocent.
Yeah, he plays for someone now, but there was like people.
Does that ruin his career though?
Oh yeah, big time, because he was playing for Wales and all. Hasn't obviously played since.
That's awful, like.
But and then there was that wee big fella, American footballer. Did you ever see that? He was playing in college. And him and a friend were accused by a girl at a party of doing that sort of thing, being a bit naughty, and he was arrested, lost his school scholarship to college, lost his essential route to the NFL, and she got away scot-free, but openly admitted she lied just to get attention from a boy that she liked.
That's crazy, the lengths she would go to try and ruin someone. Really
horrible. But you hear all these things, but it's really only magnified with, you know, people with a following, and it does come down to, does that following, or does that, you know, your presence, does it change who you were from the start?
It's a tough question, because obviously whenever someone has that platform to speak out on it, they're not going to go, I was a different person before I had social media, and I got 1 million followers and stuff. No one's going to come out and say that. So they're always going to say, I've always been the way I am.
I feel like money changes people though.
Money does change people, but like I was saying to you before we even started the podcast, like I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast with John Kavanagh and George Lockhart, which is the nutritionist now, but he didn't really talk much on the second half, unfortunately. But John just said, like, McGregor's always been that sort of way. Like, he says when you grow up in Crumlin and Dublin and you're, you know, in the 70s or 80s or 90s or whatever you're wanting to do, like, it's all the same. You're all going to have the banter. Like, Irish banter's a lot different from America.
Anywhere else.
Literally anywhere else. Like, even here we would be very forward.
Yeah.
Like, if we were to go to another country and say the things you say here, like, not like they're bad, just like, you know, you're a dick or something, they're like, whoa, what have I done?
What did I do?
Yeah. But it's just the way, it's just his mannerisms and stuff. Yeah. And obviously him working as a plumber, that was the trade. It's a man's world, isn't it?
Well,
it was then anyway.
Yeah.
And he was just a bit of a nightmare. Apparently, he was just all over the place, and that's just the way he was.
Does whatever he wants.
But he was saying that obviously people do mimic him and stuff in the gym and stuff, and it's obviously you have to build your own brand before you can start, you know, doing anything else. So you can't be him. You can follow in his footsteps to a certain point.
It's nothing worse
than
being labelled as like
an idiot, basically.
The next, or I suppose maybe the next is okay. Like, for example, someone's to be like, "Oh, you're the next Muhammad Ali." Nice.
Well, that's what people called him. That's what people called Conor McGregor with his trash talk.
What?
They said he was as good. People were saying he's as good at talking crap to his opponents as Muhammad Ali was. But Muhammad Ali done it in a way, in a respectful manner that I don't think McGregor could even he said himself he could never.
Oh, he's as I said earlier, he's a complete header. Like, yeah. But again, I do wonder, would he have got on like that? I don't know. I mean, when he's not on that stage of the press conference, I think he's very different, because even with him and his son, him and his wife, or either they're married, his wife and stuff, and I think he's a very family oriented man, and you can tell the way through his sister mad wedding party and stuff like that. That's fantastic. Like, but I think it's sort of okay to be that person, to do that thing, to then go back to being yourself. Yeah, I think obviously, like, it's like an actor, you have to put on a face. Yeah. And likewise, he has to put on a show. That's what he's there for. Yeah. A show before the show, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Like 45 press conferences in a row.
Yeah. So it does come down to that. But I suppose.
But there's a point though, whenever you have such a following, like, you do represent something. Mm-hmm. Like, if you represent yourself and you make your own brand, and you say something,
you let yourself down.
But you also ruin your sales or whatever else for your brand as well. Your brand goes down the toilet too, which is why UFC and obviously different boxing companies, they all have, like, MTK and stuff. You heard of the whole thing about MTK, the whole Irish mob thing? No. Apparently they're not letting Irish fighters fight in Ireland now because they've got ties with the Irish mob. The MTK Global have ties with the Irish mob.
What, the guys that deal with Fury?
Apparently so, yeah, and Card Frampton and the likes.
Oh my god!
I was like, what? But I have no idea. I didn't want to read the article because I didn't want to punch my screen. But,
no, that's just if that's true, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's I mean, it's just stupid. Like, but these people have, you know, a brand to represent and a company to represent, and the way they're gonna get on, and like, I think Conor has like 2 million followers or something on Twitter. And probably more now, and probably more on Instagram. Yeah. But he gets slated left, right, and center, which is fair enough. Like, it makes sense.
Well, it does come down to, you know, he doesn't. It's not even just UFC. It's not just it's not just the, you know, his country, and it's like, whenever he, I'm just looking here, 7.5 million followers.
Sorry.
7.5 million, but
what?
That's not that many. Like, there's Katy Perry has like over 200 million.
Yeah, but that's because Katy Perry's Katy Perry.
I know, and Thank Bieber has a lot as well. But he's not just, as I say, he's not just representing the UFC. He's not just representing Ireland. He's representing, or should be representing, and setting an example. Excuse me, for everyone that looks up to him, as we mentioned a few weeks ago, I suppose, in the Heroes episode. Or it runs the risk of him letting himself down, which I think Khabib has done. Yeah, Khabib's let himself down. I think Conor's, well, he obviously has a bit, but I mean,
the fighting
not to the same extent. In terms of Khabib looked like an animal. Yeah, you know, jumping over the thing, and anyway, restrained, all the rest. We spoke about it, but always been interested to know if you ended up exploding, say, on YouTube and earned 50 million a month,
Yeah, Jesus, alright.
whatever, you know, say you're on stupid money, 50 million a year,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Just I'd love to know. I'd be interested to know. Well, I suppose this goes for anyone. Would it change much?
Say it would change. It would change your life.
Oh, absolutely.
It all depends on what way you would do. What you would do with it. If it could change it for the better or for the worse. But I mean, if I was on 50 million quid a year, it wouldn't be going to me. Like it'd be going to me as well as going to other people and to other things that I believe in, and like even if it was to help, say, like anybody, like literally anybody. I mean, what are you gonna do with 50 million quid a year?
Well, I know.
You can save it, you can invest it, you can buy things, and that's fair enough. Like, but I mean, there must be a reason why the more don't give. You know, the rich don't give away as much.
I always think it's that if they start giving to someone, they have to give it to everyone.
But they don't have to do it publicly. That's the thing.
No, I know, but even so, like everything gets out, like everything. That's like, imagine, you know, next thing you hear, Elon Musk has given everybody in Lauren £1,000. You'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah, I suppose
You
like
know.
in that sort of sense, it makes sense. You wouldn't.
But that's where I just think that, like, for example, you know, Elon Musk and Bezos and all those boys, why have they not just been like, right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give £1 billion each, and we're just going to sort cancer out now.
I don't know if it's that easy.
No, but with that amount of money, the fund is never going to run out.
But what if there's never a cure for cancer?
Oh, there will be. There has to be.
Why is there have
There
to
just
be?
has to be. We can cure it. We can beat it. That's it.
But why?
What do you mean?
Why does there have to be something that we don't even know anything about?
We know loads about it.
But we don't.
We can beat certain ones pretty easily now, and that's with whatever funding's going into it. So what I'm saying is, if they were to go, right, okay, there's 5 of us, let's stick $5 billion into this, like now, get a crack team. We're just gonna pick whoever is like the best, and say, right, sort this out. That's all you're doing for until this money runs out. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't look at anything else.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Obviously, there's so many different strains, but what they do is just start nailing one and take that off, and then nail that one, and then nail that one, and then nail that one.
Probably because cancer's such a money maker, isn't it?
Well, that's the sick thing, I suppose. But
It's just the problem with government, isn't it?
But I suppose that's where the big money comes in. Like, obviously, as I said, I've been listening to a lot of the YouTube guys, and some of them do really nice things with like Patreon. They'll get the money in to help make their videos and pay whoever they need to pay. But then anything left, they pick a charity at the end of the month and just go, right, that's where that's going. I'm not keeping that.
See, that's the thing. There are YouTubers and stuff out there that do an awful lot for people.
Yeah.
And like, there's even people that make a wish program that still want to make YouTubers and stuff.
That's class.
It's great. Amazing. Like they can go ahead and they can give whatever money they want to do. They can go and bring the kids out or whatever to whatever they want to do, basically, which is fantastic for them. And the fact that these people are literally just guys off the street, like as are celebrities, but they're obviously put in a different light because they are in movies and blah blah blah. But YouTubers are just people because you see them online. Yeah. And they get to go and do all these things, and they earn loads and loads of money. And sometimes they give it away for good reasons, and sometimes they do bad things with it. And it's just the way that the world works. Exactly. But I think when it comes down to, like, obviously, like the whole thing with Logan Paul, obviously that was, he built his own brand, ruined that for a while. Now he's fine. Yeah. Fought for some reason. Oh yeah. Did a boxing match for some reason.
Oh, it was so bad. See the amount of money they earned too.
I know, insane amounts of money for what was it, 6? Was it 10 rounds or 6 rounds or something? 6 rounds amateur fight with headgear and it
was so bad.
It was awful, like, but they've obviously built the
KSI was actually better, I think.
Yeah, but it was a draw anyway. But the fact that they have that platform to make that money,
and they're gonna do it again.
Yeah, they're doing it again in America. Fair play though.
That's ridiculous. But again, they have the following. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have this mad amount of people that follow you and literally go on to your
willing
Twitter,
to pay money.
Yeah, go on to your Twitter, go on to your Facebook, and literally look at everything you do. Fill out your Wikipedia page for you every 2 seconds. What you're doing. If you just had a cappuccino in Starbucks, you know, that's what they have. You know, and I don't think I'd be that comfortable with having that mad following because, like, I wouldn't obviously mind having people to you know,
appreciate the work and stuff.
yeah, but at the same time, it's if you could just have this, and if it was to get anywhere, you'd be like, happy days. As long as I keep my 152 people on Twitter, I'm happy that follow me or whatever, or 95 people, whatever. Like, as long as I have them, that's okay. I don't care about like 9 million people coming at me like, when's your next one? It's coming. Don't worry.
Yeah,
you know.
That's like you got a responsibility then, as we mentioned earlier on.
Yeah, you got a responsibility to keep things up, and that's where people sort of go insane. They have that. Yeah, so you've seen an awful lot of YouTubers just have depression and anxiety because they want to please people all the time and stuff, and they have like
I suppose that's why you have to set
subscribers.
expectations. So you have to go, right, I'm doing a video, but it's gonna take me 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So just so you know, I haven't forgot about you. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of people would do, I suppose. But yeah, it's an interesting thought whenever you start to think. You know, obviously, your actions would be a lot more. I don't want to use the word meaningful, but I think it works.
Yeah, because you have to think about what you're gonna do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like you have to think about your next move all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't like the same thing with that fella. You know the whole Strictly Come Dancing thing. Have you heard about that? Sean Walsh. Yeah. He went in.
Did he kiss the girl or something?
Yeah, he kissed his
his
dancing partner. She's married and he's with a girl. Well,
not anymore.
He was who?
They broke up.
Oh, Sean. Yeah. They broke up and she made a statement saying that he was like
basically she was like
verbally abusive. Basically, he just said that she was a psycho and stuff.
She might have been. You don't know. Relationships are
they're
messy and horrible if they end like that.
Yeah.
So of course it's easy. She's not gonna quite be like, oh, he was brilliant. So of course he's not gonna do that. Like,
but he could have been a prick. You never know.
Could have been, but at the same time, so could she.
To be fair, he's highly likely he probably is a prick. To be fair, like.
Yeah, well, he's rich and famous, isn't he?
Yeah.
But again,
I used to like the fella. I mean, I still do. He's at the end of the day, like.
He wasn't married.
No.
Like they've just broken up.
Yeah.
So
like it's. I mean, it is a big deal for them.
Yeah, but
obviously he wasn't thinking about it. Apparently it was her birthday as well. Like,
right.
yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
I don't know, but that's like if he.
I mean, if he didn't want to be there, he just broke up with her.
Yeah, exactly,
like
and then probably kissed the woman.
Oh no, she's still married.
Yeah, but it's not his problem.
Fair, but I suppose
she kissed him back, then it's her problem, isn't it?
Yeah, and then she come out. Did you see her statement?
Yeah, she's like, sorry if anybody if I've hurt
this
anybody.
marriage is. I still love my husband. And
Yeah.
Shut up, would you?
Yeah, but sure, he didn't even apologise to his girlfriend. He just wrote something on Twitter.
Aye, well, that's fine. They broke up. That's it.
Yeah, well, I suppose right nothing.
It's different if they were married and he had some sort of legal obligation to be there.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just strange the number of people that would sort of like once you do something, like say if we were to do that now, not kiss, that's weird.
Wait, this is over.
But say if we were to go out and kiss someone else, like it would be awful.
Yeah, it would be
But it wouldn't be the end of the world.
No, it would carry on. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if that sounds really like okay, but it's not. Obviously, that would be devastating for either party.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you have say 100,000 people on Twitter
that are invested in your life and your relationship and
you're on the papers snogging some other woman, then you're gonna get.
That's
a lot
like, can
of
you
flack.
imagine Goth getting caught out on Wife Thalion?
Yeah.
Or Thalion. I don't know how to say that, but you know what I mean.
And then you're getting flack on Twitter or Facebook every day, getting texts by your friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, that's where it comes. Remember I mentioned, I don't remember what episode it was in now, but Hardwick had to turn off his comments on Instagram. And stuff. He posted one up about the guy, the Walking Dead actor, because obviously he does the talking.
Scott Wilson.
Yeah, he posted one up about that, and then he posted one up today. 15 years sobriety today. Hasn't had a drink or anything in 15 years.
Well done.
And he basically just posted it. It was really nice, actually. He wrote, it all started with he was sitting there and his psychiatrist was like, you look like shit. Or not psychiatrist, his
therapy.
Yeah, therapist. Just like,
it's therapy.
You look like shit. And, he's like, yeah, I feel like shit. And then, basically drinking and blah, blah. And they were like, why don't you just stop? And apparently he was just like, I can do that. And the whole post was like, if you need to, you can. Here's what I did and blah, blah, blah. But his comments aren't on. So nobody can be like, that's
he has social anxiety, doesn't he?
Yeah, big time. So he's probably terrified somebody will say something. But
even if it is, but that's the big thing as well. Like if you have any sort of anxiety and you go into the public eye, Like that's what I think is a bit strange about that. What do you call that show?
Circle?
No, not that one.
What's it
The
about?
Undateables.
Oh yeah.
People that have autism and stuff, like if they have like social anxiety and stuff, like obviously people have Tourette's and blah blah blah. Like they have things that you can sort of manage,
Yeah.
and you know what's sort of going on. But if you've got autism and stuff, and you don't really understand the way some things work and some people's actions
Maybe
towards
that's why
you.
they go on it.
Yeah,
Because
but
they
then
don't get it.
yeah, but then what happens after that's over? That show's over. They're on Twitter and they're getting blasted by people saying you're an idiot and you're
Well, I follow that guy Richard.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he
Him.
yeah.
He has a comment on and people do write stuff all the time and he just writes back.
Does he?
He
Just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Well, fair play to them. Like I mean, obviously there are going to be people that are that
Yeah.
then,
That don't have it.
but you're going to have different ends of the spectrum on Twitter and Facebook.
Well,
and
that's
stuff.
it. Yeah. Like he.
But to be fair, I'd love to have my own at the minute, like my own how many followers it is. So obviously you're just friends and family
Yeah,
or whatever. But I'd love to have like 1 million, and then just say something, and then someone go, "What?" and then start a mad Twitter war.
That wouldn't even need to be anything particularly.
No, I could just say like
you could just be like,
apples are crap.
everyone colorblind's an idiot,
Okay.
and that would just explode.
Well, you would comment on it, and then you would get ripped
Well,
for it.
wouldn't
as
I
well.
probably be like, aye, fair enough.
Yeah, well, you'd be fine. But
Yeah.
I could just write something like apples are stupid, and then people are like, "Oh, what's wrong with apples?
Yeah.
They're so delicious and nutritious."
Microsoft's overrated. Period.
You went to technology right there.
And then you would just be like, yeah, that's where I sort of went from Apple to thing.
Yeah.
And then I guarantee people will go pure nuts at that, or
Probably.
equally.
I just post a picture of a broken Apple Watch, like that I smashed with my own foot.
Like, oh my god, can you? What a waste of money!
Yeah.
What a joke! Other people don't have it. Oh my
That's
word!
exactly what
Can
you
you
would get.
literally imagine?
But it wouldn't even be me that I just like take it off Google.
Yeah.
Like I did this, and then they'd be like, "Oh, what are we doing? Wasting £1,000 on an Apple Watch?" And blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. That's what these people get to do, and I love to do it just for one day.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah, because I like to test myself. Because some people quit Twitter.
I suppose you could be like, you'd probably end up being like Ricky Gervais. You like replies, like
Yeah.
quote tweets them to like millions of people,
Yeah, I probably would do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
an awful lot.
and just be like,
then-
seriously?
and
Question
then-
mark.
My following would just get bigger and bigger and bigger, as with my head.
So
And then I'd be like, "Look, all these people agree with me. I'm Jesus."
pretty much.
Yeah.
That would be. I have to say that would be interesting. I'd be interested to see.
I don't think I'd ever get any more over. Like, I wouldn't think I'd get like over 1,000 followers. Like,
I have like
I've
200, and I think I've peaked.
I've
Because I have
Twitter
private
for-
anyway, so I just like I reject
Oh,
most
right,
people.
no, you're fine.
Yeah.
I'm not. I
Like
won't
if I
put
don't know who
the
they
follow.
are, I don't let them follow me.
Actually, Sabaton followed me the other day. Band Sabaton.
Really?
Mm.
For half a second, I thought you were gonna say Sabathun,
Sabathon's song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
and I was just like, oh, right.
Sabathon's just followed me there. You know. Oh right.
Teleworks. Oh wait, he's dead.
You can't say that. That's terrible. But no, I mean, I've got a few people that follow me, like Dan Hardy and stuff. He's a MMA fighter and analyst and stuff, and Michael Starr from Steel Panther. He
Mhm.
follows me as well.
Cool.
But at the same time, they don't know they follow me.
Why?
Well, they probably hit follow and forgot about it.
Or equally, well, no, they'll see your tweets.
If I tweet that often,
Yeah, but they'll see your tweets.
and if Michael Starr goes down Twitter and Dan Hardy goes
If
down
it's his
Twitter,
Twitter, like
Yeah,
his
it's true.
team that manage it, but
Yeah.
again, I would doubt it. I used to have like some verified people, but I removed them. I didn't know who they were.
nah, it makes sense.
And whenever I went private, I removed a lot of people.
You
I didn't
me.
know. I know. Well, not,
Not
yet.
yet. It's not nice.
But yeah, you got anything else?
Nope, I'm good. I'm all good for this one. I'm all Conor McGregor'd out.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we won't be mentioned next week,
No.
probably.
Well, I just thought it was a good relevant thing to talk about because it
Yeah.
just happened literally like 3 days ago, so
Exactly, and it tied in nicely to the topic.
it didn't do.
Cool. Okay, folks, so we will leave it there, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
That was